Hi Best Buds, it's Cathy with Cathy's Garden. I'm so happy that you've joined me today. Today we're going to make these very adorable mini fabric covered journals. Oh my goodness, I love them. But first, let's have our shout out to Cheryl, Sandy, Teresa, Patty, and Jojo. I appreciate each and every one of you. Let's look inside. We have a little bit of an altered paper clip here. We've decorated it up with a button that we have made, a faux button. Used a little fabric and rickrack and lace. There's a built-in pocket right here on the first page. And as we turn, we have lots of journaling space. We have another pocket right here, and we have a little fold-out piece. And continuing on, there's where we sewed in our signature with the 3-hole signature. And we use those papers that we doily printed when we painted our doilies, we made an impression on our papers, and we used those. And we'll just flip this right on over, and there you are. Now there are 12 pages in this nice little junk journal that you could send out in Happy Mail. You could pop into a pocket. You could tie on top of your journal as an add-on. You can do all kinds of things. You could pop it in your satchel and take it with you for a little bit of journaling space. Love them. All right, let me show you how I made them. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to grab your fabrics, and you don't need a lot. So you can use some scrap pieces. So these scrap pieces that I have are approximately 5 inches by 6.5, give or take a little bit. So I just went through my fabrics and I trimmed some, and I did iron mine. And what you'll want to do is you'll want to find a front and back that goes together. Like maybe you'll want to use the same, the front and the back. Or maybe you want to do something different, like use one of these for the front and one of these. I didn't mean back, I meant inside. Let me show you what I mean. On this one, the inside is that beautiful teal color, or maybe it's seafoam green. And on this one, the inside is another print. It's that mustardy color. So you could marry 2 different prints together, like I did this one right here. Or you could use a solid color on the inside and then a print on the outside. So it's just up to you and what type of fabrics that you have. So you want to consider that when you're going through your fabrics. So I just have an assortment here of different things that I have cut. And then what you'll want to do is you'll want to kind of stay with similar type fabrics, and you'll want to select, these two would be beautiful together, really nice. You'll want to select some that will go with what you've selected. Like let's just say that you choose to use these two, and you want this one to be the outside and you want this one to be the inside. So it's going to go like this, and because you've used, what do we use here? That beautiful pink color. I'm not sure if I have that exact pink. Maybe so. You can pop that little piece on the top for part of your decoration. Or maybe you want to bring in something totally different. Here's one with some white polka dots on it. Oh, that's really sweet. So that's what I mean by you can mix and match. So let's go ahead and let's get started. I'm going to move these over to the side. I'm going to bring in a piece of plain white cardstock, and I'm going to bring in my 2 pieces that I've chosen to make in the demonstration. So I've got a nice bright pink, and I've got a very pretty floral. Now as you can see, my brighter pink is bigger than the other. It's going to be all right. We can all make it work. And I selected this one for my accent. This one right here, I love this stripe. I wish I could find more of this. I don't even know where I got it from. I've had it for years. I've got that little stripe. I thought it was beautiful with this right here, I'm thinking I probably, well, it's going to go this way because it gets folded this way. And then I decided to put this on the front. So I'm marrying two different prints together here with even a third print on the inside. So what we want to do is this paper, someone's going to ask me, this is 11 inches by 8.5. And I'm going to grab my fabric tack. And I'm simply going to shake up my fabric tack just a little bit. And I want to go ahead and I want to glue this right on like this. And let's get the other one. So these are my two covers. And yes, they will fit. Barely, but they will fit on here together. All right, my two covers will fit on here. So let's go ahead and let's add our fabric tack onto our fabric. I'm just going to apply my fabric tack along the edges, just like this, and then in the middle, just a little bit in the middle, here and there in the middle. Okay, very nice. Set that aside. Let's turn this over, and we're gluing it straight onto the cardstock. And then I'm just going to press it down to remove any of the bubbles or bumps that I have in my fabric tack. I want it to be smooth. So I'm just smoothing it out. I'm going to do the exact same thing to this side. One of my subscribers told me a trick, and I shared it right after she told me, but it really does work. You know how I was having trouble, and I'm sure a lot of you others are having trouble with your fabric tack kind of coming out on its own after you use it? Well, she said to don't start squeezing until your fabric tack is all the way down to where it's, ready to come out, and then start squeezing. And I did that, and I'm doing that, and I don't have any fabric tack oozing out of my bottle when I'm not squeezing it. It's a great tip, a fantastic tip. I appreciate you telling me that. All right, so now we're just going to do the exact same thing. Flipping it over, pulling it as far over as I can because it's very tight fitting, but we can make them both fit on here. And then I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm spreading it out with my fingers to make sure there aren't any bumps or pockets that haven't been spread out, or air pockets or anything like that. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to cut this right in half. And I'm just going to trim this down like this. Okay. Doesn't have to be precise. I just want to get it to where when I lay my other piece on here, I'm going to know exactly where the fabric starts. So I'm going to get rid of these pieces here. And then I'm going to trim this one too. Okay. All right. So let's get this picked up. Now we look just like this, and we've got our cardstock on the back. We're going to turn it over. We're going to bring in our other pieces. I'm going to make sure this is the pink that goes with this pink. This is going to go right on like this. And this one is going to go on this one just like this. And once again, like I said, I'm going to trim this closer because this piece right here is bigger than this one. So I want to make sure that I get it on correctly. I could have been more precise in cutting my fabric squares or rectangles, but I wasn't. So that's how I'm going to fix that. All right, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Now this time, let's see, do I want to, I'm just getting all the little pieces off. Do I want to put the glue on the paper and then put it on, or do it the other way? Maybe it's easier to put it on the paper. I'm thinking it is. So let's go ahead and take our, see, it didn't come out. Nothing came out. That is such a fantastic tip. So I'm waiting for the glue to come down before I start squeezing. And it's down there, so now I'm going to start. And I'm going to put my fabric tack right on the back of my cardstock. The other side has our pretty fabric print on it. Okay, and then I'm going to just lay this right on the top. Turn it over. You'll have to trim this, but that's okay. We can trim it to fit. Okay, got that one done. Now let's do this one. Okay. I'm waiting for that to come back down again. I see it coming right there. I just can't get over how easy a tip this is, but you know, we're always in such a hurry. Get it come down, get it to come down. And that's what causes it to keep coming after we don't want it to come anymore. And it overflows. All right, getting our glue on here, just like that. Excellent. And I'm going to move that one over. I'm going to put it right there actually. And let's turn this one over and pop it right on here just like that. There. This piece is a bigger piece. All right. Now, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to let those dry for just a few moments and then we'll continue. All right, so hopefully they're nice and dry. Let's take our pinking shears and let's pinking shear the extra. So all I'm doing is cutting off the extra. I could have used straight edge scissors to do this. I didn't need pinking shears, but that's okay. I got them now. So taking that off. Now let's fold this in half. So let's simply fold this in half with the side that we want to be the front cover on the outside. Oh my goodness, is that pretty? All right, so I can see that I'm going to need to make this narrower right here. So I think if I cut it about right here, it's going to work. So I'm cutting, I don't know if I can cut them both. I think I better cut them one at a time. And I'm thinking that I might need to mark it. And that might be a good idea, Cathy. You might need to mark it. So let me turn on the other side. That was my ripping side. I don't want to. I'm just going to see if this pencil will show through. I'm not sure. Yeah, it will. That will show just fine. Okay. Here we go. Now let's give this a go. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be perfect. Oh, goodness gracious. How cute is that? That is adorable. And I think I might want to take it. No, I think that's just perfect. I think that is absolutely beautiful. Now let's do the other one. So I want the darker pink to be on the inside. Yeah, I think once again I'm going to at least trim it to the size of the cardstock, just so I have at least that much I can gauge where I need to fold it. It does work better with straight edge scissors to trim off the excess. And let's just fold it in half, because we're going to trim it up. So folding it in half. Let's look at, oh, that we don't have to do too awful much. Let's go ahead and see what we shall trim off. Let's go ahead and trim right here, and then flip it over, and let's mark it right here. I'm actually going to do the same right here. This one might be smaller. It might be a smaller little booklet, but it's still going to be cute no matter if it's smaller or not. It's still going to be very, very cute. Let's go ahead and let's trim this out. Okay, let's trim this side. Okay, I don't know if I can trim them both at the same time. I don't think I can. I just don't think that my hands are that strong to do that. Got a little piece here I need to finish cutting. There we go. I'd like to try. Yeah, probably not a good idea. Oh, that's fine. Okay. I marked to cut it further, so let's do it the way I marked it. And I marked it on this side too, so I'm going to do it this side too. Just the way I marked it. You can tell that I'm getting over being sick because I'm a little discombobulated. Okay. Oh, so cute. Oh my stars. Isn't that one adorable? So let's see, how much littler is this one than that one? Barely. It's barely littler. They're just perfect. So what size are they? This one's just a little over 5, and this was 3. 3 by 5. 3 by 5. They're 3 by 5. This is just a little smidgen over. All right. So on my examples, I did take it to the machine and sew all the way around. But as you can tell, these are perfect. You don't have to sew around the edge if you don't want to, but I'm actually going to take it to my machine and sew around the edge, and we'll continue. All right, so I have sewn around the edge. You can see that here. I left some string. I thought I got them all, some thread. Alrighty, remove that thread. Now let's bring in our little pieces that we talked about. I'm going to grab 2 paper clips and paper clip this closed just a little bit. We need to decide what side. Obviously, this side's the front. And then let's look at this. Yeah, I like this side the best. All right. So now we've got our 2 little rectangles here. I'm going to glue this one here, and let's go ahead and glue this one down here as well. So I'm going to bring my fabric tack back in, and I am going to just glue these pieces down. I don't know if I did that right. I'm thinking that I started squeezing before that came down. It's a habit, you guys. It is a habit. We'll know if it keeps coming out. We'll know I did. So let's see. Maybe about right there. And someone's going to ask me what size these are. These are almost 3 by 2. Okay. No, I guess I didn't. I guess I didn't squeeze it. But let's see. Where is it now? Is it coming down? Yeah, it's right there now. I can't believe that I didn't squeeze it before. I think I probably did. It just didn't come back up. Okay, so putting the glue on here. That's great. Put my lid back on my fabric tack because I'm not going to use it anymore. And I'm just going to pop this right on. I'm trying to get it in the middle, even, and doing the best I can here. I'm not really measuring. Just popping it on. All right, so next, so let's bring in our dish filled with all sorts of things we're going to use to decorate this with. So I have some sari silk that we're going to alter our paper clip with. I'll put that right over there. These are our 2 paper clips. And I have some buttons. Now, if you don't have any pre-made, or maybe you'd like to make some faux buttons, I do have a video on how I made these. These have been UV covered, so that's why they're glossy like that. But if you don't have something like this, you can always use your buttons. So I did make one to go with this, and I made one to go with this as well. And I do have some rickrack, and I have a little lace. And before we pop these on there, let's go ahead and decorate these up just a little bit. So I'm looking to see which way I would like this to go on. I do know that I want this cute little tiny rickrack to go right here on the edge. So I've got my hot glue gun here, and like I say, it's quick and it's easy, and it is great for videos. So I'm just laying the glue down here from my hot glue gun. I'm going to pop my mini rickrack right on top, just for a little decoration on the side. I'm going to go ahead and trim off the ends. Then let's see here. I think I've got some little tiny pieces of that polka dot netting. I just love that polka dot netting. And I don't know if one's better than the other, but I like that a lot, so I think I'd like to pop that on there as well. So this is a little harder to glue down. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue, maybe, right on the dots, and then lay it down, just like that. And then just get it down on here like that. There we go. So now it's tacked on there. Now let's switch over to this one. Oops, I lost that over there. And let's see. Oh, I've got some blue lace. And And I also have some blue rickrack. I'm not sure. I kind of like this one to go this way. I know I put the scallop on the outside of this one, but I like the scallop on the inside of this one. And do we like this blue rickrack on here? It's mixing an awful lot of looks going on there. Not sure. Well, let's go ahead and do it. Let's use it. Let's use this pretty blue miniature rickrack. And let's pop it right on the edge. So just laying it right on top of my glue and getting that to grab a hold and then trimming off the edges. All right, now let's see. I don't think I want it to be this long. I think I want to trim it a little bit. Yeah, I like that better. Is this, which way does this go? I think it goes this way. So I'm going to see if I can get a little bit of glue on here and lay it right on there. Maybe on there like that. Okay. Need to press it down. I need to glue this back part on. So adding my glue onto the back. There we go. I better catch this edge right here, guys. There we are. All right, that's nice. Now, let's get our buttons on there. This one's just going to sit like this, and this one's going to sit right on top of our little net. I was going to put this on there as well. Yeah, I think it needs it. And I think I'm just going to trim it just a little bit more and fray it. Fray those edges, those ends. I'm just going to pop it right above the frayed piece of the fabric, just like that. So I have double frayed. The fabric's frayed and that's frayed. I'm going to actually need to glue this down just a little bit more. All right, so let's bring in our Sari Silk from Crimson Heart Studios. And I love this color with this. I'm going to pop my Sari Silk through my buttonholes here. And I'm going to pull them through. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other end. And I'm just going to pop that in there. So if you're using a button, then you would do the exact same thing. And I'm just going to let it hang. I'm just going to tie it and let it hang. I'm not going to put a bow on it. I'm just going to knot it. So get my knot on here like this. And I'm just going to let it hang down. All right. So I'm going to add my glue to the back of my faux button. And I'm just going to pop it right on there just like that. Trim off my Sari Silk. All right, now let's do the same thing to this one, to this button. I love that color of that button. And just pop it through the holes and then turn it over and pop this in through this hole. Okay. And then we're just going to tie a knot. So tying our knot here. And then let's go ahead and pop that right on to our piece right here. So adding my glue and popping my button on. Want my streamer to come down like this. I'm going to trim this off. There we go. Oh my goodness, so cute, right? Let's definitely add a little bit of bling, don't you think? We need a little bit of bling. And maybe right across here, I think. I don't know. Now that I look at it, let me see for just a second. Maybe on this side. Just going to add my glue right on there, press it down. And then I've got some flat back pearls right here. They're sticking to my fingers. Okay, do I want them here? I think I do. I think I want to put them right there. Just pop those on, just like that. Cover is super cute. We just use basically little pieces of this and little pieces of that. Now let's put our papers in. Now we're going to make built-in pockets and some fold-outs. So I've got a coffee guide sheet, and someone's going to ask me, it's 8 by 11. I think that's exactly what it is. 8.5 by 11. I'm going to fold it the long way, just like that. Give it a good crease. And I'm going to take my little mini journal, and I'm just going to lay my paper in here, folded side inward, and I'm going to mark it. I don't want my paper really to come much further down than that, so I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side, just like this. I'm going to look at where that falls when I put it on my grid, right there. So let's go ahead and bring in our little guillotine, and let's simply just cut this, just like that. And then let's see how that's going to look in there. That's going to be perfect. All right, so we can make a couple of these like that. And I'm just going to mark it right across like this, and then give it a cut. So here are 2 pages that are going to be the fold outs. So we put it back in. It's creased, it's folded right here. Put it back into our little mini journal, fold it over, barely crease it, bring it back out and see where that's going to lie. Yep. Let's bring it up to that mark right there, just so it's inside of our cover. We don't want it to be outside of our cover. So now that when we pop it in there, it's going to be inside, but yet we're going to have pages that we can fold out. So we've got 2 of those. So let's go ahead and let's make both of these. So we folded it right here. So how much am I folding in? It's about, it's almost 1.5 inches. Your little booklet might be a little different size than mine, so that's how you measure how you get your pages. So those are our fold outs. Now let's bring in another one, and this is going to be our pocket. So we're folding it long way again, just like this. And let's measure this, just like this. Pop it down in here like this. And we're going to give this a little further. We're going to have probably, let's do about 1 inch pocket. So let's mark it 1 inch past, right here is where our little template is. That's 1 inch past, and we need to cut it right down along this way, right? So I'm going to bring in my larger guillotine, and let's just trim this off right now. So it's going to fit into our booklet nicely. I just trimmed off, no, I thought, oh, I just trimmed off my mark, but I marked it on both sides. And is that halfway? Let's just look to see, is that halfway? Almost. Let's just make it halfway. So we folded it in half, and we'll give it a little cut. All right, it's pretty close to half. Okay, and then what we'll want to do is we'll want to fold this up, and let's bring our little piece back in. We're going to fold it up. So we're folding it up. It's going to be, oh, not quite an inch. Give it a fold and then crease it back. So it's a tuck spot right there. Let's do the exact same thing for this one. So we opened it up and we're just going to fold it up. I think that's how far we folded it up. And just give it a crease, just like that. So I've got, in this little journal, there's going to be 4 pockets and 4 fold-outs. Now, I'm going to bring in, there's 4 pages here. There's 8, so I need 4 more. So I'm going to do it 2 more times, but this time I might choose just to do plain straight papers without any pockets or without any folds. So that means we're just going to use our little template and we're just going to mark it like this and like this and then simply trim. So that's how we're going to get the extra pages in there. So we're going to end up with a total of 6 pages, which will give us 12 pages once we get it placed inside of our little journal. So I'm going to finish doing these and then we're going to put them in our little journal and we'll excuse me, finish it off. Alright, so I've got my pages all ready and I have put the pink one first and then a coffee dyed paper, another pink, a pocket, another pink, a fold out, and another pink, and another pocket. So let's go ahead and get these put into our little journal. So I'm going to need to use some paper clips to hold my papers in place in my little journal here. And I have a method that I use to sew in my signature, and it has to do with a little scrap piece of paper. This one happens to be about 2 inches wide. Usually they're 1 inch wide. And what you want to do is make it as long as your journal. Then you fold it in half the long way. Then you fold it in half again and in half again and crease it really well. When you open it up, you'll need to mark the intersections of the folds. Then you take this and you place it right in the spine of the journal and paper clip it in. Then get your little packing piece that you have, your awl, and we're going to pull our journal as closed as possible and get your awl and place it on the dots in which you've made and press your awl all the way through so it comes out the bottom. And do that, I have to move this paper clip, do that to all 3 marks that you have made. And I've got 1 more to go. And I've done quite a few videos of sewing in your signatures. Don't forget to pull out your little sheet here. Save it if you're going to be doing lots of these because they're so much fun. And then I'm going to sew it in and we'll look at how it looks when it's all finished. Alrighty, so here's our little journal that I just sewed in the signatures. Now this is our fold out page right here for extra journaling. And then we're going to need to glue our pocket shut. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue right here and close it and get it glued shut. And I'm going to flip it through. I'm going to do the exact same thing to this side. So we need to glue all our pockets closed. And I need another one right here. There we go. There's a fold out page, pretty pink one. Here's another pocket right there. And there's another fold out. Now, to keep this shut, because it's kind of bouncy, it wants to stay open, we're going to use a paper clip. So I have a pretty pink one here. I'm going to pop this on just like this. And I'm going to grab a little bit of sari silk. It's the same sari silk that we use to tie our button. And I'm going to tie a little bit of sari on here, just simply tying a knot right on here. And then I have a little bit of white sari silk. I'm going to put that on here as well. And I'm going to tie a bow. So tying one on top of the other, and then simply tying a bow. And then I'm going to pull the ends and trim them so they're all the same length. And there we have our little altered paper clip. Oh my goodness, isn't that cute? Now I finished this one and I put in some little pieces of ephemera. Oh, I love this blue and the brown together. There's a little piece right there. There's your fold out page. And I just think there's another piece. This is absolutely fantastic. Maybe for some happy mail, maybe just for you to give to your friends, to put into an Easter basket. Wouldn't this be a wonderful addition to an Easter basket? A pretty little heart there. Oh, you guys, as you can see, I loved making these. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. And if you have, please give me a thumbs up. I invite you to subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in my next video. I'll see you there, guys. Bye now.